watu wasilete mchezo bwana. Hii mchezo imetosha. Hii mchezo imetosha. Hii mchezo imetosha.
I think we all now know William Samoei Ruto very well. We know how his leadership is. We at least know his nicknames. At least those names are still evolving. Like, it started with Nabi. Then now we have ZAKAYO. You know, all biblical. We know very well that William Samoei Ruto is somebody who micromanages things. Is one who wants to be everywhere and to actually be in everything that is taking place in Kenya and claim credit wherever he goes. William Samoei Ruto is somebody who essentially is kind of vindictive, you know, and he's not relenting on anything that he says. He appears to be somebody who wants his way or no way, but he still hides in, say, being a Democrat, you know, love for constitution, love for country. Yet actually, William Samoei Ruto is the same person who goes and steals opposition MPs. Office usually changes president, so we still haven't seen a lot of change in terms of after William Samoei Ruto being elected, and I can say the same for Rigathi Gachagua. They've not changed so much, as in, you know, that typical crudeness of a hustler, as so they wish to describe themselves, is still out there, and you know, the deputy president Rigathi Gachagua would want to say he is straight, but I would think it's a little bit of arrogance and a little bit of, you know, pride and a little bit of the way the upbringing is just that is actually like Rigathi Gachagua. Similarly, William Samoei Ruto is just William Samoei Ruto, who would want to tell us he's son of a hustler, you know, would want to, you know, at some moments, you know, cry in the church, you know, thinking that his background of selling chicken is so low. Well, I stopped thinking that my background was very poor, you know, when I had other people's background. If you told me, like, selling chicken, that is one of the best things that would ever happen to a poor person in Kenya. You know, people come a long way. William Samoei Ruto rides on church like Moi, again all over the place like Moi, you know, wants to carry a Bible or at least talk about church and God and everything, claims God. And like Moi, William Samoei Ruto owns God, or God belongs to William Samoei Ruto. We want to divide people, either divide them like those who go to church and those who don't, divide people like hustlers and dynasties, divide people like, you know, shareholders and non-shareholders. That's the philosophy of William Samoei Ruto. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta really has grown in office. He matured and he got more tolerant and is able to actually interact with people and, you know, keep, you know, what he thinks to himself most of the time. And like William Samoei Ruto, who would be kind of in a hurry to respond to anybody attacking him in the media, you know, almost instantly. William Samoei Ruto is the kind of a person who believes in, has overconfidence in himself. William Ruto will always want to give the impression that, you know, this one will solve everything, you know. This is it. It's either this or nothing. You know, this is the solution to everything. I'll give you examples. Like William Samoei Ruto, according to him, you know, he said that the solution to the cost of living is dishing out free fertilizer. So it was like free fertilizer, you know, let's wait for the rains and let's what, you know, farmers will do what. You know, at the end of the day, free fertilizer has not actually impacted the cost of living. As we speak, actually the cost of living has gone up. He is not interested in subsidy, not because subsidy does not work. It's simply because William Samoei Ruto wants to distinguish himself with the new things, you know, with even language. He would want to speak Sheng, you know, and distinguish himself from Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta or any other person, you know, not necessarily because that would make a difference, but just, you know, his ego, you know, so to speak. William Samoei Ruto does not listen so much and is so opinionated You see, the other thing that you remember William Samoei Ruto talked about is the foreign exchange rates. He said, once we pay for fuel or fuel products in local currency, the prices of fuel will come down, the pressure on dollars, would kind of ease and the dollar rate would go down. You see, it's like 2 months now. Talking about paying for petroleum products in local currency or in Kenya shillings as a solution to bringing down the exchange rate, as a solution to reducing the pressure on demand for dollars. That has not happened. In fact, exchange rates have gone up and the demand for dollars are still scarce. You see? So William Samoei Ruto, when he came out about this, he said, once he pays for that in local currency and the rates will come down, a lot of stories. So that is the nature of William Samoei Ruto. Right now, as we speak, William Samoei Ruto is telling Kenyans that, the economy will do well, once you begin construction of housing or the national housing arrangement or affordable housing as it's called in Kenya, people will get employed, the economy will change, the country will, and that is not going to happen. It is much more than that. In fact, if William Samoei Ruto and the guys who are advising him think that construction or government spending, as the way it's called, like in the US, building of airports, modernization of roads and communications and things like that. Government spending in the US is totally different from government spending in Kenya. You see, because if you look at the states themselves, the states have governors and they have some sort of autonomy. And federal programs can run across and change those particular counties because there's higher level of accountability. You see, and many other things. You see, federal spending in the US in 47 states or 50 states, 50 states or thereabout, and having spending by the Kenyan national government over 47 counties which do not have financial autonomy cannot have the impact that William Samoei Ruto is promising Kenyans right now. And that, I can assure you, is not going to happen. So we now know who William Samoei Ruto is, and we know which direction his leadership will be in the next 5 years. And like I've said, we are still yet to see how office will change William Samoei Ruto. I don't think it will do a lot to William Samoei Ruto. Neither will it touch Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua will remain Rigathi Gachagua. And that is the way it is. So William Samoei Ruto has certain similarity, like I said, to Moi. He wants to, kind of maneuver things. He's over-promising. Yes, that is William Samoei Ruto. But what do you think? Do you think William Samoei Ruto will change over time? Will office change him by being president? Will he be more civil and less confrontational? Do you think some of these things that he's floating as the overall solution, the silver bullet, hii ndio ile yenyewe? Talk to me about the exchange rates and what William Samoei Ruto has talked about during his campaign trail and even now. Talk to me about the cost of living. William Samoei Ruto has been talking about it. Talk to me about William Samoei Ruto's temperament. Is it going to change? Or is it going to be, William Samoei Ruto? Talk to me about his nicknames. Nabi, Zakayo, and others. Are they going to give, And how about, his deputy, Rigathi Gachagua? Yeah, somebody said Rigiji, but he hasn't yet stuck and it doesn't actually reflect his character yet. I believe other names will come along, better names. I would really, really want to hear from you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Welcome to Talk to Africa. My name is George.